It is the 18th of October. Rabbi Levitt, Gemorrah.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Welcome to the meeting. Thanks to Lou.
Rabbi, save that email that you just got, because that's always going to be the link.
Okay. Okay. Now we're up to, what did we get up to? My time of the Rabbi Huda. Oh yeah. We did. We got out the pasuk. Necha. Where was this pasuk again? This pasuk was in Kiseitse.
$25.12, Deuteronomy. Yes.
Okay. 25:12. Okay. Let's see.
Genesis, Exodus.
Okay, so
Let's choose Deuteronomy.
okay, so 25:12. That's the pasuk of Lo Sachos Einecha. Your eyes shouldn't have pity. In regard to the din of Boshis, the woman did an act of an embarrassing act to the man that was beating up her husband. Okay, so we see the words Lo Sachos Einecha, and we said yesterday that the word Einecha is totally superfluous. But it's there for a drasha. I'm going to make a gezerah shava between this einecha and another einecha that appears by the din of Eidim Zomamim. Now, where was that one?
1921.
1941.
21.
Your eye shall not pity. Life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Is that it?
Yep.
Where is it? 21. Where is it?
Oh, for some reason doesn't appear in my Torah or. What's the citation again, please?
Deuteronomy 1921.
1921. Okay. 1921. Okay. Osachos einecha. Nefesh and nefesh. Okay. So that's the din. So it says the very same expression, and we got inecha. Okay. So we have a gezerah shava. So we want to know what is the Gemorrah want to do with this gezerah shava. So the Gemorrah said over here on page 86b. And we're coming to explain the reasoning of Rebbe Yehuda. The Gemara asked my time of the Rebbe Yehuda. Again, what was the din of Rebbe Yehuda? Rebbe Yehuda was the one who said, Suma ein lo boshes. A suma, there is no boshes for a suma, meaning to say that he's going to be exempt when he causes busha to another. And Rebbe Yehuda similarly holds the same in the cases of other onshim and other of Golus, the ownership of Golus and Malchus, and even Mrs. Bezdin, the same thing. The summa is going to be exempt from those punishments of the Bezdin. So the Gemara asks, what's the reasoning of Rebbe Yehuda? So the Gemara says, Einecha, Einecha. Okay, so that's where we are. Let's read this and see if we have any Rashi and go from there. So who would like to start over here? My time of the Rebbe Yehuda. Everybody see where it says my time of the Rebbe Yehuda. This is
86b3, right-hand column, second to the last paragraph. The Gemara asks.
my time of the Rebbe Yehuda. Okay, so Roy, you want to start for us? My time of the Rebbe Yehuda.
All right. What is Rebbe Yehuda's reason for exempting a blind person from liability for humiliation? The Gemara answers, Mayadim Zomamim. Oh no, sorry. The Gemara answers, Gema Anacha Mayadim Zomamim. He learned a Gezerah Shava from the common expression, your eye, to derive the laws of humiliation from the laws of the Zomamim witnesses.
Oh boy,
Laws of
you got so
humiliation.
much trouble today. What happened, all of a sudden? I don't have any sound.
Oh. Hello, can you hear me?
Lost your sound, huh?
Hello?
Oh, now I hear you.
So to derive the laws of humiliation from the laws of the Zomamim witnesses.
Okay. I'm trying to get my speaker to work. Oh, here we go. Now it's going to work. Okay, Roy, we're listening. I'm listening.
All right.
Are you there?
Zomin law. Yes? You can hear? Hello, Rabbi. Can you hear?
Yes. Yeah, I got it now. You're on my speaker.
I'll repeat it then. Suman law. Just as there are blind people, just as there, blind people are not subject to the Zomamim laws. Afhako Somin law. Also here, blind people are not subject to the payment for humiliation. So the blind laws and the humiliation are comparable. Should I go on, or that should?
Okay, so why is it that a blind person is not subject to the law of Edim Zomamim?
This is comparing it to not being subject to humiliation.
Well,
Zomamim.
in other words, what we're going to do is we are going to learn what the halacha is by a responsibility for for causing humiliation from what the din is by responsibility for being caught as an Eid Zomim. That's how a Gezerah Shava works. The Gemorrah here is pointed out we have a Gezerah Shava. Gezerah Shava means we're going to connect two parshas in the Torah. The two parshas that we're connecting over here is the parsha of Eidim Zomimim and the parsha of the din of Boshes. So how did they connect? They connect because we got Einecha, a totally superfluous word by Eidim Zomim, and we have an equally superfluous word of Einecha, same exact word, by the din of Boshes. So that the Gemorrah says the reason for that is because the Torah is telling us that we have a Gezerah Shava over here. Now, Gezerah Shava means that these two parshas are gonna be joined together, and what's gonna happen is that we are gonna learn the halachas of one parsha from what it says about the halachas in the other parsha. So in this case, we are saying that the halacha of being patur for humiliation in the case of a summa is going to be learned out from the din of a summa by Eidim Zomimim. So what's the din of a summa by Eidim Zomimim? The din by a summa in the case of Eidim Zomimim, a summa is not liable for being caught as an Eid Zomim. I don't know how he's able to be Eid Zomim altogether. I don't know how he's able to be an Eid altogether. I think that's the point. The Gemorrah is saying that a summa, he'll never be caught as an Eid Zomim because he'll never be caught being an Eid, because he's not able to be an Eid, because the first rule that an Eid has to do is he has to say, I saw the following thing. And he's not able to be a witness at all. So therefore, a summa, so to speak, is going to be exempt from the onish of kasher zamam that we do to these plotting witnesses, like they plotted to do to the defendant. And so since we see that that doesn't apply, the rule is that he's exempt the summa in that case. So we're going to learn from that exemption to the case of the din of Boshes, and we're going to say afacha. So to over here, says the Gemara, in regard to the obligation to pay for humiliation that was caused. Asuma, lo, he's not going to be chayev. Not going to be chayev. That is what the Gezerah Shava is teaching us. Okay. And so let's go further. We read the Rashis on this Gemorrah yesterday. Ibramaskal the Loka Rebbe Yehuda. The Mishnah is not like Rebbe Yehuda. The Mishnah happens to hold that a summa is liable, because the only case of patur that the Mishnah mentions is somebody who's a yashen. Yashen shebiyesh is patur. Somebody who's sleeping that causes embarrassment in his sleep, however that is, he's going to be exempt for that. But it doesn't say that a summa is exempt when he causes embarrassment. So we infer that he would be liable. So on that, the Gemorrah said this Mishnah is not like Rebbe Yehuda, and we've just demonstrated that Rebbe Yehuda holds that there's a patur in that case. And now we've explained the reasoning behind Rebbe Yehuda. He learns that it's based upon a Gezerah Shava. Okay, so that covers the din of Boshes. Now we want to know, why is it that he's exempt from having to go to Gullus for being a Horeg B'Shogeg? On that, we go to Alan to continue the reading.
This is the bottom of the page now, right?
The Gemara now explains.
Yes, right-hand column, last, the Gemorrah now explains, 86b3.
The Gemara now explains how Rabbi Yehuda derives his second exemption. Mechaya the Ruyos, a blind person is dismissed from the category of those liable to exile, as was Tanya, as was taught by Rabbi Yehuda in another Brisa. Kolo Ra'os, the Torah states regarding an unintentional killing without seeing, the someone, i.e. to exclusion of a blind person. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, these are the words of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Meir Omer, Rabbi Meir says, Rabos es someone. On the contrary, this phrase comes to include a blind person.
Very interesting. So the Bryce is darshaning a pasuk. If you want, if you still have your Bamidbar from the Peliot shir, you could look up this pasuk. There's a pasuk in Bamidbar 35, pasuk Chaf Gimel. All the way at the end of Bamidbar, we've got the Parshas Maseh, where we learn about the din of the Horig B'Shogeg, the accidental murderer. So in Pasuk 35, Perek 35, Pasuk 23. What's it say over here? This pasuk says, "O b'chol Evan asher yamuspo." It's really in the middle of a description of how it was that this person ended up killing the other person. It was so it says over here, below Ava, it was sudden, it was without hatred. Dafo, he pushed him. Oh, he shlich alav kol kli, cast upon him some type of a weapon. Below tzedia, oh b'chol evan, or any type of a stone. Asher yamuspo, that was a stone that was big enough to kill someone. Below rose, that's the common denominator in all of these cases of different things that happen to the person. Below rose, the person who did it, he did not see over here what was going on. V'yapel, and it fell on him. V'yamos, and unfortunately he was maced. V'hulo oyev, no, he wasn't his enemy. V'lo mevakesh ra'aso, he did not desire any evil with him. So the Gemorrah is darshan on this pasuk below Ra'os. Rashi says that he didn't see him. Now, the fact that we say that the person didn't see him in the pasuk, what does that imply?
He wasn't doing it intentionally.
It implies that the person ordinarily does see. In this case, he didn't see. And that's why what happened. But he's somebody who could see. Here it says he didn't see. He didn't see what was, if he had seen, so then he's not an accidental murderer. He's not in the category of an accidental murderer. He's got a more serious culpability on his head as a result, and he wouldn't be able to absolve his guilt by simply going to Gullus. So he didn't see. He didn't see. So according to Rebbe Yehuda, what do we see from that? The Brisa says, "Below ra'os parat l'suma." You see that this pasuk is excluding someone who's not capable of seeing ever. Not this time, not last time, not the next time. He's not going to see. So that's not what the pasuk is talking about, said Rebbe Yehuda. So you see, Rebbe Yehuda says that a summa who's not capable of seeing is not the person in this parsha who's going to be chayav galus. So there's an exemption. Now, very interestingly, Rebbe Meir disagrees with Rebbe Yehuda 100%. He says, on the contrary, he says, Rebbe Yehuda Omer, l'rabos es asuma. Rebbe Yehuda says, Rebbe Meir, he says, I say exactly the opposite from these words. Very interesting. There's two totally legitimate ways to learn these two words, below ra'os. We explained Rebbe Yehuda. How is Rebbe Meir going to understand these words to say that even a summa is liable? The Rabbo says asuma. I would say, without looking at Rashi, I don't know if Rashi says anything about it. There's a Rashi over here on Rebbe Yehuda. Maybe we'll read Rashi on the Rashi over here. Below Ra'os.
Below Ra'os without seeing. Mash meaning Shehu Roeh b'makom acher, that he sees in other places that it was done, that he didn't have vision of what was happening at it. The Khan Hayib below run here, it is without seeing.
So who is Rashi explaining over here? Is he explaining Rebbe Yehuda or is he explaining Rebbe Meir?
Rebbe Yehuda.
Right. He's explaining Rebbe Yehuda. According to what Rashi is saying over here, a summa is going to be exempt because that's not the person the Torah is talking about. But according to Rebbe Meir, and then Rashi is silent with Rebbe Meir. He's got an explanation for Rebbe Yehuda. He has no explanation for Rebbe Meir. Implication is, I don't need to tell you anything about Rebbe Meir. That's Pashut.
Right.
Why is it Pashut? What's the pshat according to Rebbe Meir?
We're not talking about actually seeing. We're talking about intention. Therefore, a blind person is just as capable of intending to kill somebody as anybody else is.
But over here, is intention a reason why he's going to be chayav galus?
No, yes, it is. If he did not have intention, then he's chayav galus.
Right.
That's the whole point of saying without seeing. He didn't intend to hit him with the stone.
Now, if he intended, so then that's not going to be a horig b'shogeg.
Right.
So okay, but okay. So we see that since it says lo ra'os, we see that he didn't even see. So obviously he didn't intend. But why would that mean that we would include somebody who's a summa?
Because a summa could do it without intending. just as much as a sighted person could do it without intending. Suma could accidentally push a rock off the ledge and have it hit a person and kill him.
But also we might assume that a summa wouldn't be liable, we might say. So this is to make sure that we see that he is liable, according to Rabbi Meir.
Okay, I'll tell you what I think. I think like this. The pasuk is saying, you know what? He didn't see him. He didn't see him. That makes him in the category of an accidental murderer who's going to be chayav galus. Didn't see him.
What if we put the word aware instead of see?
Why you want to do that?
Because that's what we mean by see. So if the blind man didn't see him, in other words, he wasn't aware of him, and the sighted person wasn't aware, didn't see, wasn't aware.
What if he heard him? He heard him walking underneath his window, and he pushed the rock out. Is he
That was the wrong
chayav?
person. That was the wrong person.
No, he's chayav. He's chayav in that case,
Yeah,
According to who?
according to everybody.
Not according to Rabbi Yehuda.
Oh, right.
In other words, Rabbi Yehuda is saying there's an absolute exemption for summa.
Because Rabbi Yehuda says if he can't see, he can't have intent. Rabbi Meir says, Adar Rabbah, of course he can have intent.
Well, but if he has intent, he's going to be exempt. Even
No,
a sighted
he
person
has
is going to be
intent,
exempt from galus.
According to Rabbi Meir, if he has intent, he's chayav. If he does not
Oh.
have intent, he's putter.
The whole idea of being an accidental murder is that you don't have intent. Whether you can see, whether you can't, even if you could see, you're going to be exempt because you're if you intended to kill, that's not an accidental murder anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. I followed. Right. So according to Rabbi Meir, if he had intent, he's a murderer. He's not liable for going to the city of refuge because he's a murderer. He's guilty. We're going to execute him,
whether he's blind or not.
whether he's blind or not.
Well,
According
actually,
to
this
Meir, if he did
okay.
not have intent,
we'll see about
then
that.
we say it was an accident, and he has to go to exile. According to Rabbi Yehuda, if he's blind, he's not capable of having intent because he can't see. And therefore,
What if he hears him underneath his window and he intends to push the stone down on him? Why wouldn't that be intent? Even if he didn't see him.
because now I'm confused.
Okay, so what I would say is like this. I would say that it's true that the halacha is over here when it comes to a harig b'shogeg, an accidental murderer, that if he has intent, he's not going to be a candidate for being sent to Golas. He's going to be exempt. In other words, that's true. That is true. But this, what the pasuk says over here, lo ra'os, we shouldn't equate that with, oh, he didn't have intent. There's something else that the pasuk is telling us. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it's telling us, you know what it is? It's a gzeres hakasuv. There's, in a certain sense, there's not so much sense to it. It's a gzeres hakasuv means that's what the Torah says. Rabbi Yehuda is saying, oh, I see that the pasuk is talking about a guy who this time he didn't see. And that's why what happened happened. Oh, so if so Rabbi Yehuda says, I see that the person is a person who's capable of seeing, but this time he just didn't see. He didn't see the person over there. So that's why the person was struck. But a person who cannot see at all, can't see in this time and any other time, Rabbi Yehuda understood that the pasuk is telling us, by the way, the pasuk is telling us that someone who cannot see at all, he's not the person in this parsha who's going to be liable to go to Golus. It's a Gezeres HaKosev, according to Rabbi Yehuda. That's the way Rabbi Yehuda understands the pasuk. There's not a svora that says, oh, he intended, he didn't intend, this that he didn't see, it proves that he doesn't have intent. We don't. It's like a paraduma. It's like a paraduma. This is what the Torah says. That's what the Torah says. That's the way Rabbi Yehuda seems to be learning the pasuk. But Rabbi Meir, he's saying differently. He's saying, no, I see from these words lo ra'os that a summa is going to be chayev. Why should a summa be chayev based upon these words in the pasuk? Because it says over here, you know why this happened? Or you know what was the facts of the case? Let's put it like that. Why it happened? It happened because the Kodesh Baruch Hu goes there from Sheshis Mei Bereshis, and Rosh Hashanah of this year. That's why it happened. But the facts of the case is that the guy didn't see. He didn't see him. Didn't see. Says Rabbi Meir. Oh, he didn't see. So in order to qualify to be a candidate for Gullus, you gotta not have seen the guy there. Oh, let me ask you a question. What about this blind guy? Do you think that he saw the guy there? Obviously, he didn't see him there either. So Rabbi Meir is saying that we have really a sort of like a kal v'chomer that a summa is going to be liable, because he's always this is always true about him, that he's not going to see that guy there.
So what would he
so
say in the case where it's intentional?
So again, if it's intentional, whether he's a summa, whether he's not a summa, he's not going to be a candidate for Golus, because we have a different pasuk, we have a different part of the pasuk that says that somebody that in. Let me show you from the words of the pasuk. Where do we see? Let's say from these last words, there's different. Here it says imba peta below eva. If suddenly below eva, without any hatred. Rashi says, oh, that's talking about a case of onus.
Meaning beyond his control?
Yeah, I mean that also. I don't know if he's going to be Chayiv Golos in that case. You know, this is a complicated parsha. This is a whole Masechtas Makos is about this din. So I don't want to make any mistakes over here. But these words below Ra'os, Rabbi Yehuda is learning that the summa is going to be liable. I'm sorry. He is going to be exempt by definition, no matter what.
No matter
was-
what, because he can't see.
Right.
So in any case, whether it's intentional or not intentional, he can't see, therefore he's not liable for exile.
Even if all the other criteria match an accidental murderer, he's not intentional. It's not an onus. He's right in the middle, an accidental murderer. Because of the fact that he's a summa, he'll be exempt, according to Rabbi Yehuda. Why? Because it says in the pasuk, and he didn't see. And Rabbi Yehuda says, oh, that's what Rashi's explaining over here. Mashma shehu ro'eh b'makom acher. Rashi says that what Rabbi Yehuda is pointing out is that it seems from the pasuk that it makes it sound as though here he didn't see him there. Here in this situation, on this day, at this place, he did not see this person there. If it would have been a different day, a different situation, a different life, he would have seen him over there. He's a sighted individual. And that Rabbi Yehuda says, oh, so that means that someone who's not able to see, he's exempt, because that the parsha is not talking about a person like that who cannot see at all. But Rabbi Meir is saying, on the contrary, when it says that the person didn't see, so that's one of the requirements for it to be accidental a shogeg, a horig b'shogeg, apparently, and if so then says Rabbi Meir, on the contrary, a summa fits the bill perfectly. He didn't see. He didn't see yesterday. He didn't see tomorrow. He didn't see in this situation either. So it applies perfectly to him.
So according to Rabbi Yehuda, if a blind person accidentally kills somebody, he goes scot-free. True?
He doesn't go to Gullus. That's what we see. Even though all the other conditions have been met that would make him a candidate, because of the fact they cannot see, says Rabbi Yehuda, he's exempt from Gullus.
And since it was accidental, we can't say he's going to be executed.
Right? But to say that he gets off scot-free, we have to remember that there's more than simply the human judges and the human Bezdin.
Right. I'm only talking about the human based, and I'm not talking about
Yeah.
the Shemayim.
Yeah. Yeah.
If, according to Rabbi Yehuda, if a blind person killed somebody intentionally, then he would be subject to execution.
Well,
Then he
we're
would
going to learn about that too in the next in the coming Gemorrah, I believe, because the Brisa said that according to Rabbi Yehuda, he's pater from chayve golios, umechayve malkios, umechayve Mrs. Bezdin.
Okay, so I'll hold my analysis in abeyance.
Okay,
So, have a good day, everybody.
and we're going to hold our analysis for today as well,
Right.
because it's 12:31.
Tomorrow we're back to normal.
Bezrat Hashem. You'll be the first to know if something that is there is a change.
Okay, very good. All two.
All the best. Everybody have a great day.
Take
Thanks
care,
Wally,
once
you're
everybody.
again
saying
to Luca
something.
for
We can't hear
hosting
you.
the meeting.
You're muted.
What?
Take care.
I'm saying Roy is, I see Roy's lips moving, but he's muted.
Roy is muted.
Okay. Take it.
I'm just saying, have a good day, everybody. Thank
Have
you.
a great
Thank you,
day.
Rabbi. Thank you,
Amen,
everybody
amen.
else.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye-bye.